So, welcome everyone. Good evening. So, we have today a new speaker with me, Mr. Ansh. Mr. Ansh has mastered in journalism and he is an Insta influencer and he is a budding journalist. And he is very much concerned about the social issues that we face today and he is a social issue commentator. So I thought he is the very right person to discuss the issue that we are facing in the society today. So primarily, the movie, the Kerala story has instigated us, has influenced us to speak about this issue. So we'll be discussing about this film and then we'll be finding out what is the problem, is it the real problem, and what Mr. Hans think about the problem and how we should deal with this problem. So that's what we are going to discuss with him. So welcome,
Right, sir.
Mr. Hans. Welcome to our studio. I'm feeling very
Thank you,
good,
sir.
very nice about you. You are there. You agreed to talk to us. So, have you heard about this film, The Kerala Story?
So, yes, obviously. So, sir, this can be, इसको तो हम talk of the town कह सकते हैं. ठीक है. So, this is how, yeah. So, this is how it's going, right? So, let's start it. That
Yeah.
how did we as a society, right? Because we're talking on social issues, we're talking on
Mm-hmm.
this particular movie, right? So, how did we take it? Okay,
Yeah.
मेरा ये पॉइंट यहाँ से शुरू होता है irrespective of governments, सर, है ना कि you know let's say Kerala में there's a different regime because the story is from there, right?
Yeah.
Center में we have different regime. Tamil Nadu में we have different regime. Tamil Nadu becomes important because there was this so-called shadow ban, yeah, so-called no response as per
Yeah.
government filing the response to the Supreme Court saying कि हमारे तो पूरे स्टेट में there was no one to go to the theaters, hence कि theaters ने अपने आप हटा दिया. That is a point that how did we as a society see one particular movie or an issue. हम issue पे बाद में आएंगे कि how does this become a context, how does this become social viewership or what, right? How did Bengal see it, right? Because let's say जो 20 साल पहले शायद केरला के लिए कहा गया या जो 15 साल पहले केरला के लिए कहा गया, this can be said for uh, probably, I fear to say this, but it can be said for Bengal, right? So this is where it becomes very important for a society, and it's just a movie. Let's agree to this fact firstly, right? And
Yeah.
primarily that it's just a movie, right?
Yeah.
If you think it's not worth it, right? Supreme Court तक का ये quote है कि if you think that you're getting offended, or probably you're not enjoying the content of the movie, or you're not enjoying the relevance, right? You're not enjoying the influence of the particular movie, the idea
Yeah.
of the movie, the theme, the plot, the cast, ये वो. Supreme Court has blatantly said that कि मत देखो, अगर अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, don't see it, right? But where where on earth can you overrule the so-called law of the land, and then we have film regulation के लिए हमारे पास censor board है, right? Passing it with more than a decade, passing with more than 10 cuts, right, into the movie, right? Not showing. See, ये आपको याद होगा, it's out of context, but आपको याद होगा कि there was this movie recently about Vikram Batra, right? So what
Yeah.
happens is that, yes, that movie circulates around Vikram Batra. Okay, it is probably a biopic or whatever that you want to call, right? But it circulates around it, and then at the end you have Vikram Batra speaking. वो जो so called हमारे journalist वहाँ bunkers में गए थे. I don't consider them journalists, right? But consider me as a buddy journalist, a junior journalist, right? But वो जो बंकर वाला उनका इंटरव्यू है where he speaks this दिल मांगे मोर has been, वो दिखाया गया है लास्ट में. Now the point is I came to this talk is because सीएम साहब ने कुछ कहा है on being a CM, right? Not from Sangh, not from BJP, not from VHP, no Hindutwavadi organizations or so-called Hinduvadi Sangathan, right?
Yeah.
He was a CM of Kerala speaking on this, right?
Yes.
वो तक सेंसर बोर्ड ने हटा दिया. Now, how on earth are you going to be asking facts more than what CM says as a CM?
Yes.
And that too from a side of victim. So let's say now let's consider comparing two CM, Mr. Achyutanand and then Mamta Banerjee. Mamta Banerjee is trying to dominate it, right? Dominance में, use of power में, ठीक है, use of law में, you might be on the wrong side. यहाँ पे तो as a victim, a particular CM is speaking about a social content, right? That ये मेरे state के साथ हो रहा है and it's very concerning, right? Now at that time, he also gives a particular time frame. Let's not get into words, right? But my point is that at that very same time, if we would have आंख खोल के हमने as a society उस चीज को देखना शुरू किया होता, because tomorrow what happens in Kerala might happen in my state irrespective of wherever that I belong to, right?
Definitely.
तो yes, तो शायद हमें इस मूवी की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती, आवश्यकता थी ही नहीं इस मूवी को बनाने की. If we would have been well on top notch of the social issues, right? कि हाँ भाई मुझे पता है, we are over it, right? नहीं हमारी लड़कियां ऐसा नहीं करती है, ठीक है? We don't give a chance to any particular community to term us as a victim or to take us irrespective of our decision to go somewhere in a different country, via different country, this, that, and what not, right? System इसकी गुलाम है. You're looking at this, so there is. आप आशा करता हूँ कि आपने वो मूवी देखा होगा, right? So there is this Christian girl who at last approaches a particular police station and she speaks out those facts. जहाँ पे 2-3 और cuts लगाए सेंसर बोर्ड ने. There was also this number present, and then she talks about a particular number given in the trailer, in the theme, in the teaser and what not, right? जिसके पीछे बहुत बवाल काटा सब लोगों ने, irrespective of that number. See, what happens is वो वहां पे जाके कहती है कि मेरा FIR फाइल करने में आपको इतना टाइम लग गया. So you think of the nexus, entire nexus, working around a particular agenda, working with a particular motive, right? Now, see, what happens is we are running, everyone's running behind so-called YouTubers उसके पीछे पैसा ले लाके, मेरे को पता नहीं केरला से क्या soft corners होता है किसी YouTubers को. First time that we started to chase vaccine, and if you remember, sir, उन्होंने कहा कि ओहो केरला मॉडल तो पूरी दुनिया में सबसे बढ़िया मॉडल है. And the death ratio was the highest, right? If you remember this. Now the same person, आज Kerala story आया, तो he becomes suddenly an expert on social issues. He was an expert on medical issues. He was an expert on pandemics, which the entire world has not seen it. वो उस पे comment कर रहा है कि ओहो Kerala is handling it in a perfect manner. Okay, let's agree to that. And then all of a sudden, after there's a huge rise into the cases. I don't know what was the curse of the commentators or what not. I'm not so sure, right? But what happens is कि वो जो राइज आता है केरला के कोविड केसेस में, एंड पीपल फॉरगेट एंड देन दे स्टार्ट टू मॉक हिम, राइट? आई एम सो सॉरी बट दैट इफ यू नॉट एन एक्सपर्ट ओवर इट, व्हाई टू स्पीक ऑन इट, राइट? तो पैंडेमिक हम सो लेट्स से ही इज समवेयर अराउंड माय एज, जिन्होंने पैंडेमिक अपनी जिंदगी में पहला देखा है. हाउ डू वी बिकम एक्सपर्ट्स ओवर इट, भाई? ठीक है. एंड देन yes, and just on the facts, on the basis of somewhat manipulated data, he thinks that he can predict future better than AI, right? And उस टाइम पे तो थोड़ा AI का भी कम चाल चलन था, तो somewhere down the line he thinks he is an AI. So ऐसे नहीं चलता. So coming back to the movie, right? So the entire system, you talk about religious system, you talk about political system, you talk about administrative system, you talk about judiciary, bureaucracy, everything, and let me say to this extent, even the legislature is working for them. This is not my Kerala story. क्या audacity है वो particular member of parliament का, where he or she says this is not my Kerala story. कितनी बार आप लोगों ने ground पे जाके देखा है whether these things are happening or not? ये जो अभी 2-3 दिन पहले So 2-3 दिन पहले ये numbers game बहुत बड़ा हो गया, and then Supreme Court on 12th, I believe, right, came up with a decision to not ban the movie, and they say that हम तो vacation पे जा रहे हैं, vacation में मैं देखूंगा, CGI says, and then he comes up saying कि बाद में decide करते हैं, 19th probably 19 जुलाई का उनको date मिला या whatever, लोग Google कर सकते हैं उस पे, but the point is that एक वो 26 लड़कियों के साथ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ पूरा 2 घंटे का in front of the press and media, and there was an event carried out by the producer and the director and everyone, and they said that, you know, they raised funds also. They said that we're gonna, this movie crosses some sort of amount, and then they're gonna donate it to that particular organization. That organization, Arsh Samajam, right? They said we have rescued, and point this number out, sir, into the caption also of this video. They have rescued 7,000 girls till date. That's what the manager or the secretary of that particular organization in that press conference said. 7,000 girls have been rescued out of it, right? Now the point is that they are already successful in rescuing 7,000. You talk about the nexus, how deep is it going to be? You talk about those murders or those girls who are already out there, वो चली गई, जिनको वापस वो एक एनजीओ नहीं बुला सकता हमारे देश में. You talk about those suicides. You talk about those girls who are not still yet, वो उन्हीं के चंगुल में है और अभी बाहर नहीं आ सकती है. Are we even saying that it's not in 30,000s? Are we saying that it's not 500,000?
I must add something here, and that
Yes,
there is an activist who is a lawyer actually. His name is Pratik Vishwanath, and he also runs NGO in Kerala only, and the name is
right,
Hindu Seva Kendram. And he
right.
was also supposed to come to my channel for the interview, but he has not.
Okay,
He is busy actually, I think. So he
right.
claimed, you can see his interview on various channels that is there, Jaipur Dialects, and so I saw that video. He said he himself has rescued 11,500 girls from this Love Jihad.
Right.
So, and there are many other activists, not one and two, there are many other rescues. So when the one person claims and he is a lawyer, when he speaks, you must think he must be having some evidences. He is not just
Perfect.
speaking the number.
Right.
So when then the activist you just talked about, they are saying a number, they must be having the evidence that they can show you. So the
Yes.
one person is saying, I have rescued 11,500 girls, and another says, I have rescued 7,000 girls. So do we think that 32,000 is a false number actually? There are many
Right.
more like that.
Right.
The
So,
number
yes,
might be more than 32,000 actually.
yes, yes. So
Can you give me
that
1
is,
minute?
see,
I have a call.
sure.
Can you just give me 1 minute?
Yes, yes.
Call your letter. Call your letter. Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
So we can continue. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to add his name. So,
Yes.
and those people are lawyers, so they speak with evidence. This is not just a number.
Right.
The
Right.
only thing,
And
the
yes.
religious
Yes.
secular that are the very big numbers in our country now, they are not ready to accept the fact. And,
Right.
so you will find those people everywhere.
Right. Right. So my point, so sir, my point was that, see, irrespective of this individuals, right, that we go and, uh, you know, probably hunt them down, bring them to media, right, कि सर बोलिए आपने 11,500 12,000 लड़कियों को यहाँ से स्वतंत्र मुक्त किया. There's this आर्ष समाजम जिन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया, and then they're talking about 7,000 7,500. The point is कि Indian Express came up with that report, a decade ago, saying कि अब तक, every year it's been 25,000, 2,500 to 3,000 uh, girls, जो इनकी शिकार हो जाती है. But my point is that irrespective of those numbers, so every girl gets counted. Don't emotionally don't take this statement of mine. My point is, statistically, what audacity do we have, or who are we at the end of the day to counter this anything, right? किसी
Right.
एक की family में, so as we have seen, and this is not spoiler that I'm giving for the audience who have not seen it, right? Firstly, I would request everyone to go and see the movie, right? And then the talk makes sense. But my point is कि वो जब एक उसमें ये जो लड़की का सुसाइड दिखाया है, right? So the point is where she says uh, to her father, right, that this is what we would have to have a talk on it, right? मेरे को ये exactly याद है, that this Kashmir files, when it came, so it was, they asked for 1,400 or 1,300 screens around India. They were given 600 कि नहीं, आपका मूवी जैसा भी है, we're going to give you 600 screens on the first weekend. Okay. So and the second week it started to run on 4,400 screens. Okay, so this was the success. It's this is similar kind of success that being enjoyed by the Kerala story, right? But उन्होंने एक पॉइंट उस फर्स्ट वीक में कहा था, when the media started to support it, right? क्योंकि उनको कुछ तथ्य दिख रहे थे, and the movie was fantastically directed, acting सबका अच्छा था, अनुपम खेर being the center of the media and whatnot. So जब उनका एक इंटरव्यू हुआ ना, तो I remember this golden line from him, okay? And he said कि ये मूवी चाहे हिट हो ना हो, but what have I been successful in doing is that I have made this issue to be an issue to be a talk of the day at your dinner tables. And it's happening throughout Bharat. That's what he said. And that was golden. And that was what I just loved about it. कि आज तक हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे थे, है ना? Were we talking about the violence happening with a particular community at a community? भीमा कोरे गांव में कुछ होता है, उत्तर प्रदेश में there have been multiple violence, मुजफ्फरनगर के सब, there's a list. Let's not get into it, right? So, but never the things that happened in Muzaffarnagar used to get on my dinner table in Gujarat or my dinner table in Maharashtra, and we're talking about it कि पापा क्या हो गया, right? या मम्मी क्या हो गया, या हम हमारे बच्चों को नहीं कहते थे कि बेटा देखो क्या हुआ. And this movies are doing that thing, and that's the problem which the leftist, the Islamist, and the the non-Hindus or the anti-Hindus are facing. And I wanted to come to the solution, that what happens or what can be done on ground, right? So that these incidents either get reported or stopped, or with God's grace, भगवान की कृपा से अगर ये सब बंद ही हो जाए तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. But my point was that, right, that start talking, right?
Yeah.
Start informing,
Right.
see.
Right.
So initially me also being from the media fraternity, when I was seeing this सुबह से लेके शाम तक we are talking about श्रद्धा वोलकर का ये जो इशू हुआ मुंबई दिल्ली whatever, right? So तो I got a bit frustrated कि इतना negativity क्यों है मीडिया में. But when I come to know, right, that these things, when 24 hours are running on your channel, you tend to talk about it, right? हो सकता है शायद शाम को आपका बेटा देखे, दोपहर को आपकी बेटी देखे, and when in the evening you're back, right, they're gonna ask you कि क्या हुआ ये, right? पापा क्या आपने देखा इसको, है ना? मम्मी क्या आपने इसको देखा, right? And then you start, you can initiate the talk कि हाँ मैंने देखा. You need to be safe. You need to be far from that. Right now the things slowly and gradually media में जब बागेश्वर बाबा आगे आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, then there are this रामदेव महाराज आगे आ रहे हैं. What things are being done is when these people are being idealized, इनको एक frame में बिठा देते हैं कि yes, the new cool is when you follow these people into the youngsters, right? So yes, and yes, so what happens is, for being cool, they start to follow these people, and then they hear it कि oh Hindu राष्ट्र की बात हो रही है. Oh, there is this beautiful girl Jaya Kishori, a beautiful saint, right? She's talking about Hindu राष्ट्र तो संविधान से बनेगा, while Bageshwar Dham is saying नहीं हिंदू राष्ट्र तो यहाँ पटना से बनेगा, right? Where there's a saint from south saying कि ये तो हिंदू राष्ट्र है, right? So I'm not going into their words, right? I'm not going into their verdict, or I'm not saying कि चलो कल violence करते हैं, right? But my point is slowly and gradually ये जो सामाजिक change है, जो विचारधारा में ये जो change आ रहा है, that's where आज का youth ये सोचना शुरू कर रहा है कि राम भगवान ने विदाउट जीपीएस अयोध्या से लंका गए अपनी वाइफ के लिए. And why did he choose exile over the throne? Right? कि नहीं, मैं वनवास जाऊंगा. And these are the answers, right? मैंने सो ब्रैग नहीं कर रहा हूं सर, पर हमने एक स्क्रीनिंग भी करवाया, फ्री स्क्रीनिंग पुणे में. यू आर अवेयर अबाउट इट, राइट? कि सो यस, सो जब हम बातें कर रहे थे, राइट, विद दोस ऑडियंस बाहर शो खत्म होने के बाद, राइट, and then there were girls, they were talking about those girls, उनके colleagues के colleagues, उनके दूर के दोस्त, उनके सोशल मीडिया फ्रेंड्स, कि लड़कियां थिएटर से बाहर निकल के अपने अब्दुल को कॉल कर ले रही है कि आज से वी आर ब्रेकिंग अप. एंड दिस इज द चेंज दैट दिस मूवी इज ब्रिंगिंग. ठीक है, मेरा उस अब्दुल पे कोई कमेंट नहीं है, मेरा उस लड़की पे कोई कमेंट नहीं है, ठीक है. आई वुड रिफ्रेन माई सेल्फ फ्रॉम द सोशल मीडिया कमेंट्स, बट माई पॉइंट इज दैट इफ दीज थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग, that's the burning moment for the anti-Hindus, for the communists, for the leftists, for the Islamists. ठीक है, कि and see, so what happens is, so there's this empty bucket. Okay, this movie exactly shows कि spirituality का जो bucket है वो जहाँ हिंदुइज्म में खाली है, right? So let me so I can ask a very basic few questions to a fellow Hindu of mine, and he or she will be very blank, right? मैं बोलूंगा कि राम की शादी, राम का ब्याह कौन सी उम्र में हुआ? He or she might be very blank. Okay, fantastic. राम के जो 2 बच्चे थे, लव और कुश, ठीक है, उनका जन्म कहाँ से हुआ? So they might be very blank. So now the point is कि वो जो मूवी में एक फ्री, एक स्पिरिचुअलिटी का जो बकेट था वो एम्प्टी दिखाया था, that's where it is being filled up by a particular ideology which seems very negative, with a motive, right, to take them to ISIS or probably making them whatever that they want. And then what happens is कि उस बकेट को तुम किसी भी भद्दी चीज से भर सकते हो, because it is empty. And it is empty from the beauty of the world. सनातन के विचार आपके अंदर नहीं डाले गए हैं. प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो आपके गुरुओं की है, जो आपके माँ बाप की है, जो संस्कार सिस्टम है, राइट, उनकी प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, राइट. एंड उन्होंने जब अपना काम नहीं किया, so the bucket of spirituality is empty. Now it's being filled up by a particular ideology which does not have any sense. Questions, there are millions if you're just aware about it. श्री सीताराम गोयल जी ने एक बार कहा था, सो ही इज अ वेरी फेमस राइटर ऑथर ऑन हिंदुइज्म पे, बहुत बढ़िया बढ़िया उनकी पुस्तकें हैं, ग्रंथ कह सकते हैं हम उनको, इतना मस्त लिखते हैं। श्री सीताराम गोयल जी ने एक बार कहा था कि किसी भी आइडियोलॉजी को समझने के लिए आप वो आइडियोलॉजी क्यों नहीं पढ़ लेते। सो ही हैज बीन अ कम्युनिस्ट इन इंडिया, राइट, एंड ही सेड दैट व्हाई डोंट यू गो एंड दैट्स जस्ट अ 60 पेजेस बुक, दैट्स कैपिटल, जो मार्क्स ने लिख दी है, उसी को पढ़ लो ना, यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डू दे डू, राइट। ये सब बहस में पढ़ना, सोशल मीडिया एंड तुम एंटी हो, तुम प्रो हो, तुम कम्युनिस्ट ऐसे है, कम्युनिस्ट वैसे है, आप अच्छे नहीं हो, आप अच्छे हो, इस बहस में पढ़ने से अच्छा है यू गो एंड रीड द मैनिफेस्टो, right? So once you read the manifesto, it's very clear from over there that what exactly are they going to be working upon.
Yeah.
Correct? So this is where he says कि इतना छोटा सा बुक है, इतनी एक बुक है कुरान, why don't you go in and read it? Right? आप ही जाके उसको पढ़ लोगे, there's no shying away or running away from it. खुद ही पढ़ लो, आपको खुद ही पता चल जाएगा. So then there's nothing like, jihad is a war with your internal self, killing your internal enemy, right? हम अगर we are addicted to kill this addiction is jihad, ये वो, this is what the definition of jihad is. आप ही को पता चल जाएगा, भैया पढ़ लो, या you go and read it. There's no point in me saying something or probably Dr. Zakir Naik saying something and then there's a clash between our ideologies or our words. तो फिर किसकी बात मानोगे? ओह, जाकिर नायक के सामने तो 20,000 की पब्लिक बैठती है, तो वही सच बता रहा होगा, probably अंश and हरी sir are not saying the truth, है ना? उससे अच्छा है you go by yourself. एक ही तो बुक पढ़नी है आपको, है ना? Even if you're gonna follow it with rigor. अच्छे से पढ़ लो, अगर आपको अच्छा लगता है, आपको उसकी आइडियोलॉजी, आपको उनका विमेन एम्पावरमेंट, आपको उनका लॉ ऑफ गवर्नेंस, आपको उनका इक्वालिटी, एलिमनी, मेंटेनेंस, मैरिज, डिवोर्स, जो भी अच्छा लगता है, जो भी संस्था, जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जो भी इंस्टीट्यूशन, जो भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आपको उनके अच्छे लगते हैं, गो एंड रीड अबाउट इट. Read it in details. There are commentaries of a few Muslim people, of a few Hindus, right, who have been into this, and you can read it. So that was what Sitaram Goelji basically suggested. So that can be one of those solutions, right? That's what I wanted to. And the second thing that I wanted to say is be aware, right? Whether it's social media that you talk about, right? Whether it's mainstream media, ठीक है सर आप. So this exercise can be done by anyone, right? Anyone
Yes.
hearing this,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Go to Twitter, right? आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ हैशटैग ग्रूमिंग जिहाद या हैशटैग लव जिहाद लिख के सर्च करना है, and you will find more than 100,000 tweets, 100,000 people, right, on any given day talking about it. They'll be having new cases. They're going to be having real time, real basis, real cases. किसी का गला काट दिया है, किसी को मार दिया है, किसी को छोड़ दिया है, राइट? किसी को किसी से साथ शादी करके रिलेशनशिप बना के फिर कभी वापस कभी आए नहीं है. And this is what exactly this movie is showing.
Yeah.
Right? And you will find multiple cases every day around the globe happening. And it's not just Bharat, right? It's not just Syria. जैसा उसमें कहा है कि इंडिया के, भारत के आंकड़े फिर भी कम है, right? Somewhere down the line, we don't want to go Gulf. Somewhere down the line, there's awareness. इस मूवी के बाद और थोड़ा awareness आएगा. But UK and US have been worse. Germany have been worse. आप इसी ईद को देखो, Germany have first time used the word land jihad. जर्मनी ने मना किया सर कि ईद के टाइम पे नमाज पढ़ोगे तो मॉस्क में जाके पढ़ना. देयर वाज अ ऑर्डिनेंस आउट इन पब्लिक. उन्होंने फिर भी पार्क्स में और रोड्स पे नमाज पढ़े. एंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम एवर जर्मनी के सिविलियंस, जर्मनी के पब्लिक started to come on social media speaking up the term that this is land jihad in our country, right? Where we did give you the facility, where there were enough mosques to, कि आप आराम से अपने मॉस्क में जाके नमाज पढ़ सकते थे, ईद का नमाज पढ़ सकते थे, आप अपना ईदी दे सकते थे, खा सकते थे, जो भी करना था कर सकते थे, but still on purpose you came out, you came to the parks, you came to the roads and you did this. So slowly and gradually there have been awareness, but time is ticking. और again जहां से हमने start किया था, we can come to this where as Achyutanand ji said, right, that Kerala, or let me say the entire globe, is on a ticking time bomb if we are not getting aware about the things happening around us. Yes.
So our session is going to end in only 3 minutes. So do you like to
Right.
come again, or do you have more things to say?
Yes, so if you're having any specific questions that you think I can address, or I can talk about,
Not a
it would be
specific
fine. But
question, not a specific question. As
right,
I said, my focus was the issue actually. This issue
right,
is nothing new actually. This is a very old issue. Recently,
right,
people have started talking about it when there are films.
correct,
So people have started talking about it. So if we
right.
have, because I wanted to find out, do you have some practical solutions for the people,
Yes,
whoever is facing this
right,
kind of challenges in their life, to address such
right,
issues? So those things you can say.
right.
So
So that's what, as I said, let me again summarize it for our
mm,
audience who comes at the concluding remarks. But as I said, sir, awareness is the key, right? Be aware about what things are happening.
and talk
जो
about it.
फंस गए हैं, right?
And talk
Yes,
about
so
it.
that's what,
Mm,
correct. Okay. So the point is, जो इसमें फंस गए हैं, वो पहली
mm,
फुर्सत में इसमें से निकलने की कोशिश कीजिए. जैसा जैसा मैंने कहा कि लोग थिएटर के बाहर आ आके अपने सो कॉल्ड बॉयफ्रेंड्स को कॉल करके बोल रहे हैं कि यू नो it's a breakup, it's a never ending scenario and I don't want to be with you. But the point is, sir, कि even the governments let's stop being politically uh, you know correct, and address the elephant in the room in the best possible manner to punish those. ये आंकड़े क्यों नहीं है सर? इसका एक रीजन इसीलिए भी है that we don't have a law of love jihad. कोई
right,
लड़की आज
right,
जाके
right.
यस कोई लड़की आज पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके कहेगी कि मेरे साथ लव जिहाद हुआ है, तब पुलिस विल बी ब्लैंक. अच्छा, कौन से सेक्शन में आपका एफआईआर लिखना है? आई डोंट नो, बिकॉज देयर इज नो रूल एंड हेंस देयर आर नो नंबर्स.
Mm,
हेंस ये जितने भी यूट्यूबर्स, मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया वाले जो चढ़े हुए बैठे हैं डायरेक्टर साहब पे, that's the reason, because the director is not able to give those specific numbers is
yeah,
because
yeah. So we have
there is
only
no
one.
law.
We have only 1 minute left actually. This will be disconnected. So I must add actually, because whoever is facing such issues, na, there are activists all around this country actually. There are many. You can
Sure,
find them on social media. So whoever is facing
correct,
challenge, you can take help from them. You go to the social media, search for them. You will get their contact numbers and they will respond to you. Since they are the activists and they have
correct,
rescued many people, many, big numbers. They have rescued people. So whenever you face such problem, so do reach out to them and you can find them on social media. So thank you so much, Ansh. Thank you for talking
thank
to
you,
us.
sir.
We will be meeting again. I will be discussing some new issues.
Sure, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.